I'm Ella.
I'm Sophie.
I'm Emily.
And we all know Kevin because of G15.
Like how he was like not scared. Like he would like talk to you, like even if he didn't know you. And he was just like he was a really outgoing person. So
Okay, so it was like really, really nice when we first joined and all that, and it would always make you laugh, and it would always make sure you were okay. If you're just sitting there being quiet, we come over and talk to you, and just to make sure you're doing okay.
Yeah, like the same. It's just any time, like if you were sitting yourself or not talking, like he was always the first person to ask if you were okay, and like if like you were bored, he would always make sure we always had something to do and that we were always laughing, and I would always tell us new games and stuff, so we weren't bored.
He was just like funny and nice, and like just like Caitlin said, you could just talk to him, and it wasn't really like, I don't know, like not like a different youth worker where it's like it feels like they're a youth worker. It just kind of felt like he was a part of like the actual group instead of like an adult that I was supposed to listen to.
He was just like really approachable and like friendly, and like I always remember him being really welcoming. Like when I first joined G15, like he's kind of like interested in you as a person. Like I would talk to him about not just things we were doing in the club, but like things in my life and what I was interested in and stuff like that.
It was very relatable. I didn't want to be in front of the camera, and I could just be behind it with him, and it was good.
I liked how he was like always there, and he was like relatable and funny, as I said last time. And it was just like he was open to trying anything, honestly, and I like that about him.
He was very funny. He's just very respectful. He had somewhat of a can-do attitude, and yeah, it's very good guy.
He was very like funny and humorous. Had like a good laugh whenever he was in the building.
Hi, my name's Lily Cassidy, and hi, Kevin was on G15. I really miss him, like his smile, his laugh, like the wee stupid things he done. Obviously, everybody's gonna miss like the wee stupid things, like the wee jokes he made, everything else. He was just a sweet person in general, and I really miss him.
He was a really nice guy. He was always smiling, always listened no matter what you were on about. Even if you didn't quite understand it, he always listened and acted like he knew what you were on about.
Yeah, I agree with that. He was always just kind of there for you, and like to me, it felt like kind of like an older brother type thing, and like he was a really fun guy. He just the nicest dude ever.
Well, with his videography, which I took part of sometimes, that's also one of the reasons I kind of went to my drama clubs, because I've wanted to pursue more parts of videology and acting in general.
Just his photography skills inspired me quite a bit, and that he's one of the reasons why I've really gotten into photography.
Same as James, like I've took like sunset pictures on my phone, but like Kevin's one of the main reasons that I get into photography.
Through his work, I got to know him just that wee bit more, and Kevin had a huge impact, not just myself but also the whole community, and I don't think people know that enough. But he made a huge impact on me because he was there for me if I needed him. Kevin had a set of skills that was beneficial for himself and the community, and he's just his personality brought smiles to people's faces, no matter what he was doing, whether you're just talking to him about life or you're just learning something from him or getting to know him. So even just his presence brought a smile to everybody, to myself, yourself, and the community.
I thought it was nice. It was really funny. Made references to movies that no one knew.
I thought it was really funny, kind and caring. So I first met Kev when there was a wee summer fair on down at church, and he was doing photographs. Me and my sister got our hair curled and got makeup done, and he took our photographs for us.
Working with Kevin at the creative group, there's a lot of things that go on that I didn't even know about, and there's a lot of issues that go on in our community that I didn't know about. So I think it's important to have someone like Kevin that highlights the good and the bad of the community, and basically just says it's not, sometimes they say it's just not good enough, and we need better.
Just that he was always someone I looked forward to seeing at G15, and he was just a friendly face to everybody that everybody liked to talk to him and spend time with him.
Just I always looked forward to seeing him in G15.
Kevin, so I used to be only outgoing when I was with my friends and when I knew people, but Kevin's really he talks to anybody, so he had that impact on me. He made me talk to random people and smile at people and say hi, and something like that's just
Is that?
Yeah.
Right, okay, so the impact that Kevin had on me, right, so he always called me Regina from Mean Girls, right? And then it's kind of just taught me that people do care what people think and that they shouldn't. Yeah.
Kevin had such a big impact on me and everyone, but I think literally anyone can say that knew me before that I was so much less confident. I would barely speak to anyone, but now I talk to people more and I'm not as bad talking in public and stuff. And then also he got me back into photography and stuff. So
I just liked his personality. He was just a dead nice, kind person. He was great with the kids. He was funny. He was just daft. Didn't take himself too seriously, so you could have a laugh with him. He had great ideas for the clubs and stuff as well. So he was just really, he was good at his job. He was always, what you would say, the kids would say, pure big hype man. He was always telling you how good you were at your job.
He was so welcoming, and he made you even if you were nervous on the first day, at least I was nervous, kind of just the way he's so casual with you, it just kind of makes you feel at home and comfortable.
I agree with that. He was always very supportive and accepting of no matter who you were, what you were, and he was always just a great guy.
He made me have more confidence. I was able to be more social, and I was also being I was understanding a lot more things because of him. He made a really big impact.
We were playing hide and seek in the church, and Kevin was hiding it outside, and some of the girls from the other club were walking past, and Kevin kind of seen them and was like, "Hey girl," and the girls just looked at him as if he was like, "What are you doing?" They were pure embarrassed, and Kevin came in, and rather than just keep it to yourself, Kevin came in and told us, and obviously that just then became the new kind of greeting between each other, "Hey girl." So yeah, it was pretty funny. We've now got our wee tiny chair with the camera on it that's now known as Kevin, so that comes to the club with us every week. So yeah.
Short answer, he was just a really good guy. You could just talk to him about anything. You could always be so positive. But in my extent is that whenever you could talk to him, you could talk to him about anything, and you could talk to him for a good while about it and have enjoyment. And he would encourage you to talk about it more, and you wouldn't have to feel not enjoyable about it. You just talk and feel happy, and he'd feel also happy as well.
I'd say Kevin was a really bright and bubbly guy, and he was always very happy, and he was awesome.
In situations where you'd have probably gotten a bit more impatient than you should have, he was really calm and chill about it, and that encourages me to find a better version of myself that's a lot more patient and a lot more temperate. He's my impact on that. He's an inspiration.
When we first all got mics from the Thursday group, I remember I was testing it and I was filming, and Kevin came in and photobombed me, and I like to look back on that every once in a while because just to remember him. And also the Maggie Murphy filming day was really good as well because he was just there and he was all energetic and himself, and he was doing what he loved. So
I can't remember much, but he was funny and nice. I mean, he was nice and talked to me, so I thought he was pretty nice. So thought that he was still really nice and stuff, and like he made sure that he made sure that I was like included in stuff, and like he kind of felt like a dad sometimes, kind of. He always like made games up and like uh, for everyone to like participate in, and like he was funny. He made sure everyone was all right and stuff. He made sure everyone was like included. He was just like nice in general. Like he made me feel like pretty good about myself. He made me feel like it's okay to like be myself and stuff.
Anything you want to say before you finish? Anything you want to do or say?
Hey girl!
You too.
Yeah. He had a huge impact on the workplace here. So Kevin normalised everything, you know, so some people are a bit wary of churches and kind of think, you know, there'll be, I don't know, Bible bashing or some kind of extreme way of being. But Kevin really normalised that so that people felt comfortable coming in here. He was welcoming, he knew how to talk to people. It didn't matter who they were, whether it was a moderator or whether it was you know, someone from down the road, that didn't matter. He connected well. So yeah, he made an impact in terms of bringing people in. The place seemed to have a buzz about it when Kevin was around. He also had an impact on me. He was a massive support. He was always kind of in a quiet way there supporting you, having your back, just kind of encouraging. You know, we spent a lot of time exchanging ideas, you know, what about doing this? We could do that, you know, like one of the things he talked about, which I hope we still do, is having a film projected onto the back wall of the church, because I think Kevin remembered as a child a film being shown, and he thought it was a really cool idea. Obviously, he was into film and wanted to do that, and we never actually managed to do it, but I hope we still will, because it's a great idea. So he was always coming up with ideas, always enthusiastic, and we kind of started a film club. He did wee kind of films with the young ones. He was absolutely brilliant with the young ones. I used to kind of say he's like the Pied Piper, because he'd be walking back and forward and there'd be a troop of kids after him. So very popular. He had a gift of connecting with people, so to work with him was really easy, because he was constantly going around encouraging people. You know, people would maybe just be dropping in for an event, and Kevin would have a conversation, and then he would say, you know, that person's interested in volunteering, or so he had a way of drawing people in, and not just drawing them in, but supporting them and being alongside them. And I just heard recently, this is an example, so there's a couple from Nigeria just started coming to our church, and so Kevin got to know them a little bit, and the Indiana, the guy told me that Kevin had taken him to his driving lesson because he didn't have anyone to drive him. And I didn't know that. And he was constantly doing things like that, going over and above to help people out. And you just don't see that all the time, you know, and that made him kind of special. And yeah, he was likable in so many ways, because he was funny, and he connected, you know, he kind of found a connection with you and developed that. And like we were saying, he did that with everyone. So yeah, he was very popular and very, very much loved in St Mark's. He had so many gifts, and his filmmaking, I used to say to him, you're going places because you have got so many gifts. And I think he possibly didn't realise just how gifted he was. So yeah, I think his time, maybe more than anything else, his time for people and sharing of himself, all those gifts with people, was very, very appreciated by everybody.
Hi, hello, my name's Joyce Bell and I'm a project leader here at the G15 Youth Project. I've known Kevin personally for 30 years. I was first introduced to him when he was about 2, and then he was away, and then he came back when he was about 4. He had a project that was running in Drumchapel called Drumchapel Sitter Service. Came in contact with Kevin and his mum. She was going to college, doing different pieces of training, and we were a childcare service, so Kevin came into our life. And what a wonderful, wonderful, lovely young boy he was then. Even as a kid, he was just so, so nice. And everybody wanted to watch Kevin, so the sitters used to go, I'll take Kevin today, because he was just such a lovely wee lad. So it was like 20 years ago for me this year that Kevin got involved with G15 Youth Project. He was brilliant. He was just a good guy, so he automatically got involved in everything that was happening in G15, and round about everything that was going on. But more so, he really had a flair for cameras and photography and capturing moments and stuff like that. That'd be a nice capture that was really good. He had another wee group of other young people, Jordan and Scott and Sheldon. There was a few of them, all kind of had that but he was dead passionate about it. So he just started working with Rab, and together with other young people, they created the AV group. When he turned 16, came onto the management committee, and he was really, really good on that. There's a whole load of them. Sean Gangel, Liam Gangel, Jordan was still around as well. Scott was still around. Sheldon was still about, and they were up for making a change. They were up for making a difference, and just making things better for young people in Drumchapel. We'd been away to uni and done all these bits and pieces and came back, qualified, and now this media and film. And I just knew I was going to need a bigger budget for any new cameras and stuff. And I just thought, this guy's going to cost me a fortune. And a fortune he did cost me. But I'll tell you what, it was priceless, that the work that he had done as well. But at that point in time, he'd get connected with Peter. And him and Peter were just like a force, like, let's do it, let's have it, let's happen. So Kevin would come up with ideas, or they would batter ideas about together, and boom, it would all happen. And it was just brilliant. It was just really good. It was fast, but it was good. But then we went for no having big mics hanging, booming over your face. You had a nice wee funky mic like this, pinned onto you, and then you were just like getting questioned about the world and what was happening and change and how you wanted to see things. Peter and Kevin started a creative group, and Kevin came in to support Peter to do that as well, because he's obviously more experienced, and got the young people together. And it didn't take long for that group for going for a wee group. I get told a wee group, just maybe 6 or 8 young people, and that group today is sitting with about 14 to 16 members in it, all who have learnt to film, to record, about sound, about focus, about vision, about just everything that you need to be doing professional filming, and they all love it, and it's still going. So Kevin's left a legacy here at G15, and it's buzzing. Young people are still doing it. They're doing this film today about the work that Kevin's done, and that's really, really a great tribute to Kevin. He deserves us to be putting his legacy out there and making sure all the work that he wanted to be happening, and the change, the stuff that's important in our community, not just for young people, for the whole community. mean, you had Peter lying in potholes in the middle of drive just to bring up the impact to look at the state of our roads and it's not good enough. And the young people took that to the local MP. This boy's done hundreds of work over this whole community and touched so many people's lives, particularly our young people. So, hats off to you, Kevin, Harvey. Your wee legacy will continue here at G15 and the young people will do you proud in the future.